Is prison really a badge of honor? All right, check this out. So, what's cracking? First of all, new video. People, if I don't say those two things, people get in the comments and say you forgot. But I wanted to talk about something today where I hear that in the comments a lot. Oh, so you think prison is a badge of honor? Well, honestly, if you are in that criminal world, if you are supposedly a gangbanger, a gangster, a criminal, then yeah, going to prison is going to be a badge of honor in that world. In the grand scheme of things, it means nothing. It means nothing at all. It means you failed as a member of society. But if you're in that criminal world, you live by a different set of rules. You disregard the rules of society. You don't care about those. You live by your own set of rules, or the rules that are dictating those you run with and that which you're under. Okay. So for me, I will tell you right now, I have a problem with, do I think I'm better than someone because they didn't go to prison? No. Do I think it's hard to explain it. A person who's a square has always been a square. It does not make me better than them whatsoever. They've probably got a great retirement set up. They've got a home. They've got a lot of things that I'm working on. But when you apply it to the criminal world, if someone is going to portray themselves as this big old thug, this big old gangster, this big old criminal, yet the resume doesn't stack up to that, then yeah, if you're trying to portray something you aren't and you never have been, then yeah, in that world, in that scenario, then yeah, it comes into account. You have to apply it. The problem that I have is this, and I wagged my finger right now like an old ass man. The problem that I have is this. You know, if you're from a barrio, if you're from a hood, you know homeboys your age. You know what homies of yours never spilled blood. You know what homies of yours that maybe they went to the joint. They did a term. Maybe they did 2 terms. They were on a level 2 or maybe a level 3. Then they got out, got back to the neighborhood, got off parole, got off paper. And right now, they have little homies looking up to them. They have little homies around them, and they're telling the little homies that they need to go put in work for the barrio. They need to put in work for the hood. They need to rep the hood because back in their day, back in my day, this, and that. But see, what these youngsters don't know, they see that's the older homie right there. That vato's from the neighborhood. That vato grew up with my dad, whatever they're saying. But what they don't know is that vato, yeah, he went to the joint. Like I said, yeah, he did a term or 2. He was in a level 2 or a level 3 for burglary, for petty theft, boasting, for some dope. Not for using a gun on an enemy. Not for using a knife, any type of weapon on an enemy. Not for putting in any acts of violence against a rival neighborhood or rival gang member. So how do they get the chance? How do they have the audacity? And how is it allowed in the neighborhood for them to tell people to do what they didn't do, what they wouldn't do? And like I'm saying, we all know dudes in our neighborhoods that are out there being looked at as the older homie. And with the little homies, their word has weight. And we know what their background is. That's where I have a problem. I don't care, look, I'm not even in that world, but these questions come up in this whole badge of honor thing. It's not a badge of honor to go to prison if you are a square and never about that world and about that life. But again, if you were a criminal, if you were a crook, if you, when you were growing up, it was a dream of yours, because unfortunately it was for a lot of us, to be from the neighborhood, to put in work for the neighborhood, to go to jail and represent the neighborhood well. If that was part of your dream, but along the way you knew you didn't have it in you to spill any blood, then you really should, when you got off parole and you got off paper, yeah, it's cool, be cool with the homies, but go and get a job, Holmes. And instead of telling the little homies, hey, go put in work, hey, fuck them vatos from that barrio, hey, these are the barrios we don't get along with. Instead, why don't you tell them, hey, man, you know, I used to be like you, eh? And I want you to join, and I got smart, Holmes. And look at, I'm working, you know, why don't you think of that, Holmes? Why you want to go to the joint and hang around with a bunch of men, man? You could be out here and get yourself a job and tie down you know, your lady and have some kids and have a great life, homie. And we represent the neighborhood that way, Holmes. We bring a new mentality, a new breed into the neighborhood. Make this place something nice, eh? But they won't do that because they're afraid they'll look like a punk. But they want that for their kids. They just don't want to tell somebody else's kid that. They can't tell somebody else's kid that, right? Because what if the homies find out and hear about it? Who gives a fuck? You ain't working with the Judas. You ain't telling on nobody. You damn sure have never put in work for the neighborhood, so they're not going to look at you like, orale, this vato he was a killer, Holmes. What happened to him? I don't know. This is an idea that came into my mind. That whole badge of honor thing, it really is in the criminal world. It is. It's. I give you my case for an example. 6 of us busted on this murder. 5 of them told. I'm the only one that didn't tell. Everyone else that was arrested told. And then I think I told a story where 2 of them were juveniles. One was 13, the other one was 15. The 13-year-old wrote me. I was in the county. He's across the freeway. He's in juvenile hall. It's on the other side of the freeway from the county jail. And he writes me and he tells me about the 15-year-old. Yeah, Holmes, I let all the homies in here know. Everybody in here knows that vato's fucking, he's a rata, this and this and that. And I wrote him and I said, you told too. You told, you're in the same boat as him. Why you got everybody looking at him like you're cool? And the 15-year-old, of course, he had, you know, caught the blues in juvenile hall, but the 13-year-old never shared my letter with anyone. And I wasn't gonna tell people, hey, go smash on this 13-year-old. And he went and did his 3 years, 4 years in YA, and then got out and ran around the neighborhood like everything was cool. I don't know where he is now. I don't ask. I haven't heard of his name in a long time. But if you think there's not a few of those in the neighborhood as well, there is. And that was just my whole point is, yes, it is a badge of honor in the criminal world, but also my thing is these dudes that did go to prison but never put in any work should not be asking people to put in work. Should not be telling your kids or your nieces and nephews to do something they wouldn't do. That's how we were in the joint. How is a vato in a leadership position that's never done a pegada, never done a hit, never stabbed nobody? How is he gonna ask somebody or tell somebody, hey, Holmes, I need you to help me out? Really, you gotta ask. Hey, Holmes, I need you. I want to know if you're willing to do something. Or yeah, Holmes, yeah. What's up? What do you need? Hey, I need this vato whacked over here. But you yourself have never whacked nobody. It's poor leadership when someone who hasn't done something asks someone else to do it. You don't even know how to do it. You don't even know if you could do it. Anyways, this is one of those rambling videos. I don't know how interesting it is to anybody. It's interesting to me, and I think it's food for thought. I know there's vatos that are seeing this video that you know who you are, and you don't got to be ashamed that you never spilled blood for your neighborhood. That just wasn't the person that you were, but hopefully you're not asking other ones to do something that you couldn't do, you can't do, and you won't do. That's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out.